Episode 6 of Chief of War, titled The Splintered Paddle, deepens the political and personal tensions in the Hawaiian epic, premiering August 29, 2025, on Apple TV+. Here are the key spoilers based on available information. Divided loyalties. After Keoua's troops burned down Kohala's food supplies in Episode 5, Kaina, Jason Momoa, struggles with his allegiance to Kamehameha, Kaina Makua, while also doubting his leadership. His tried-and-true instincts conflict with Kamehameha's desire for peace, which could lead to dissension within the council. Keoua Escalates vs. Kamehameha. Open conflict is indicated when Keoua, Cliff Curtis, destroys Kohala's food sources. The islands are headed toward civil war as a result of a bloody altercation sparked by Keoua's resentment over Kamehameha's designation as war god. Kamehameha's fight to uphold his nonviolent principles in the face of Keoua's violent power grab is examined in this episode. Kupuohi's personal conflict. Despite her inner suffering related to her previous decision to choose Kaina over Namake, Kupuohi, Te Ao Hainapiinga, Kaina's wife, clings to the prospect of peace. Her apologies give the intensifying conflict a human face, impacting Kaina's choices and family dynamics. 2. Keoua vs. Kamehameha, a turning point toward civil war. Background. The series revolves around the rivalry between Kamehameha and Keoua, Cliff Curtis. Keoua has increased tensions by attacking Kohala's resources because he is jealous of Kamehameha's heavenly position as war god and his expanding power. This conduct undermines the tenuous peace between the islands and jeopardizes Kamehameha's attempts at unification. Conflict in Episode 6. The two leaders in The Splintered Paddle most likely engage in direct combat or calculated maneuvering. Kamehameha is pushed to the limit by Keoua's hostility, which is motivated by ambition and jealousy. The episode may show Kamehameha balancing the urgent necessity to neutralize Keoua's military danger with his ideal of a united Hawaii under a code of justice, as is hinted at in the title. As in previous episodes, training routines and conflicts, expect intense scenes of council deliberations, battle preparations, or a fight that highlights the series' visceral action style. 4. Elements of mysticism and prophecy. Tala's function. A recurrent character, the seer Tala, Roimata Fox, provides Kamehameha with enigmatic visions that direct his course. With omens pointing to a predestined, great king, who will unite the islands, her predictions might take center stage in Episode 6. These visions had the power to either strengthen Kamehameha's commitment or cast doubt on his supporters, especially Kaina. Spiritual context. Rituals, chants, or sacred locations, such as heiau temples, are probably part of the episode's Hawaiian spiritual theme. The Splintered Paddle alludes to a morally or spiritually significant occasion, perhaps connected to a vision or incident that challenges Kamehameha's divine mandate. This is consistent with the series' 92% Rotten Tomatoes rating, which is commended for incorporating cultural authenticity into its story. Impact on the story. Tala's visions might hint at a pivotal moment, like a sacrifice, treachery, or final conflict, laying the groundwork for the season's finale in subsequent episodes. In contrast to the grim realism of the combat scenes, her presence provides a dimension of mystical. 5. The impact of Europe and outside forces. Historical context. Chief of War, which is set in the late 1700s, takes into account the increasing number of European traders and explorers that arrive in Hawaii with guns and new political dynamics. With Kamehameha negotiating their offers of alliance or commerce in Episode 5, their influence was alluded to. There are several surprises in the most recent episode of Chief of War, and it's worthwhile to explore them more. Writer, director, and star Jason Momoa's long-term passion project, the historical epic for Apple TV+, explores a critical period in Hawaiian history that was characterized by battle, political betrayals, and outside influence after European discovery. The historical background of Chief of War is essential to the narrative. The main character in Chief of War is Jason Momoa, who plays Kaina, a warrior and chief who was forcibly removed from his land at a time of intense unrest. Although this has had a significant influence on his family's lives and the political climate of the archipelago, his absence has ultimately been beneficial, giving him the opportunity to return home and bring about peace. While showcasing the splendor of its old culture, the series also portrays Hawaii in a state of war. Since the world is changing quickly and they are still preoccupied with internal power struggles, both internal conflict and outside influence pose a threat to this way of life. After spending years away from home, Kaina has found a devoted companion, picked up English, and gained knowledge of gunpowder and sophisticated weapons, but his objective has not changed. He wants to return to Hawaii and overthrow King Kahekili. Kaina wants to make amends since he feels he had a hand in the Oahu tragedy. Kaina is unaware of the significant internal strife that Hawaii is currently experiencing, but more on that later. Because of his agreement with Vai, he would be going back to open trade lines with the English and trade sandalwood from Hawaii. According to Vai, it is advantageous to get ahead of the English impact because it will happen whether people like it or not. Kaina intends to return to the archipelago and get his people ready for integration rather than attempting to fight a force that Hawaii cannot handle. His people have started learning English at home after he studied it abroad. As European cultural impact starts, trade will follow. Back in Hawaii, love is in the air, but regrettably, it's the kind of love that can have disastrous consequences. One of Kaina's two brothers, Namek, has a long-standing romantic relationship with Kaina's wife, Kupuohi. Namek and their other brother, Nahi, are at odds because of this. In episode 2, their tension resulted in a fight. Namek's interest in her has been known to Kupuohi, who tells her that she still has life to live despite the chance that Kaina has passed away. He is saying that she need to get over his brother and be with him instead. The episode concludes with them sharing a bed despite Kupuohi telling him she can't do that. Hik, Kupuohi's sister, has been pursuing him, but he mostly ignores her advances because he wants to retain his strength for Kaina's return. After the death of Hawaii's king, the king's son Keoua takes the throne and assumes full control, but the previous king did not give Keoua complete control. Instead, the god of war, which represents military control, has gone to Kamehameha, a younger man Keoua claims is a low-born bastard. In the meantime, Nahi still believes Kaina will return home and appears to be having the opposite issue as Namek. As hinted at in the last episode, Keoua is enraged that he wasn't granted total authority as he had anticipated. Kamehameha showed greater patience and intelligence than the older man when they were summoned before the former monarch to discuss military strategy. Kamehameha appears to have no personal animosity toward Keoua and no desire for battle, even in the face of his threats and insults. By uniting their strengths for a single Hawaii, he proposes that they can fulfill the ancient king's final desires and get ready for the threat posed by Kahekili. Kamehameha prayed to the gods to help him, but Kahumanu told him to make the proper decision for himself. He says they won't attack Keoua, but they will be ready to defend themselves, perhaps using his food supply to survive an attacker. Kahekili keeps causing trouble for his guys. The Maui monarch is pursuing a prophecy that, if he pushes his hand and seizes control of the islands, he thinks may be about him. But his supporters, including his son, are starting to lose faith in him after witnessing him exploit this prophecy to justify heinous war crimes.